to equipping you to hone your media skills better to stand out from the crowd as a go-to expert in your field. Each week, Rich Bontrager interviews top leaders, influencers, authors, speakers, podcasters, and media professionals about how to leverage media best to help you shine brighter on camera and stage as a go-to expert. Now, here's your host, The Trigger, Rich Bontrager.
Welcome to Wednesday Night Live. It's 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's How to Rock the Stage show. Welcome back. I'm The Trigger, Rich Bontrager. Great to be back here, streaming live again, multiple channels, and you can interact with us during the show tonight as we get rolling here. Drop on in and say hello through the chat, whatever platform you're finding us on. We'd love to hear what's going on in your world. And again, the people out in Hawaii with the devastation, if you're plugging in at all today, wishing you well with what's going on out there. Tonight, we do have a very special show because we're all about media. We love media. I'm here to help you shine on camera, shine on stage, to help you amplify you and your brand authority. And we do that in many different ways. And one way is collaborating with other leaders in media to bring the best resources, the best tools together. And we're going to talk about that with digital media tonight, especially if you're not even a writer. Even if you're not a writer, you can be a writer. And we're going to talk about how you can do some of that here tonight on How to Rock the Stage. We do want to thank our sponsors that make this all possible. Thank you to the National Speakers Association, celebrating 50 years of helping other speakers learn how to become greater, better, stronger speakers. The NSA is something I'm proud to be a member of, and celebrating 50 years. Congratulations for them for what they're doing. And again, to Audavita Studios. Audavita Studios is an amazing group that is out there with an experienced team paired with their state-of-the-art technology. They have an amazing recording process that brings your message to the market even faster. They work with you to produce your audiobooks, your podcast series, distributed throughout the wild web. I call it the wild web because it's fun, and out into the marketplace as well. For more information, learn how to contact them at audavita.com. That's audavita.com. And they're going to take this show after we're all wrapped up, and they're going to re-air this as the audio podcast. So thanks for making it one of our partners that helps make it all possible at Rock the Stage. Now let's get into our guest tonight as we get into this media and the digital media age. Shanon Peel can help you define your brand stories and strategically build out your digital footprint to expand your brand awareness, help you increase your brand credibility, develop the interest in your brand to guide people from awareness and turn them into customers. Market Apeel is our company. It's a brand storytelling agency, digital publisher, which we're going to talk a lot about tonight, to tell your brand story to ideal audiences that you want. The Brand Apeel podcast is active and going strong. Apeel Magazine, Summits, and Unpeeled blog. We'll have to ask about that tonight. You want to know more? Go to marketapeel.com/marketing. And as I introduce her, I just got to let you know, you are in front of your ideal audience. You already are, but Market Apeel is going to make it better and better through digital books, brand storytelling, winning by speaking, writing, publishing. Oh, it's exhausting. And here she is, Shanon Peel. You're exhausting.
Well, it's about creating a media empire. And when you do it all digitally, there's niching, where you do one thing really, really well. But if you're going to build an empire, you really have to do multiple things.
And I talked about that earlier today, that part of the idea of doing multiple things, building out your market to reach more people, creating that brand identity, you can't do it alone.
No.
You will blow up. You cannot do it alone. Maybe you can, Shannon, but most human beings cannot. Maybe you can.
Well, let's put it this way, Rich. I don't move from this chair very often. I need to move more often. I need more partners like yourself whom I can rely on and can take some of the burden away, because yes, it is a lot of work. Just one channel is a lot of work. Just doing the podcast is hours of time, especially if you want to do it to a different level of, a higher level of professionalism. A lot of people, they will record whatever and then just pop it up there without listening to it, without editing it. And that's not what my brand is about. So you really have to think about those things. How do you want your brand to come across on all of the media channels that you go on?
Well, there's crawl, there's walk, there's run, and then there's fly. and you really help people through the process of moving up there. And a lot of times you get them flying because you do start where they're at, but you take them to where they dream of going.
Well, it's all about first figuring out what you want to be known for. That's the first question I ask on my podcast. What is it that you want to be known for? Some people have a good answer. Other people look like they're deer caught in the headlights going, and they come up with something. Oh, I want to be a good dad. I want to be a good mom. I want to be known as a good person. Well, those are all great things to be known for. But when it comes to your brand, if you don't know what you want to be known for, neither will your audience.
Well, so let's back your story up because you did not start where we're at now. You also started on a journey. You were a writer, you were an editor. What exactly did you do before Market Apeel really got rocking?
Well, I used to be I started off in financial planning. I was a marketing associate in a financial planning industry, helping financial planners get in front of their ideal audiences back when email was a brand new thing.
Ooh.
Yeah. Then I got into daycare and a few other things, but then I went back into professional sales and selling in the advertising industry, which means I was selling print advertising in the phone book, as well as online advertising into online digital or online directories. From there, I was selling ads in direct mail magazines and online reputation management with an online review site. So I have a lot of experience when it comes to understanding advertising, how to tell a story to an audience, as well as creating that online reputation. And as you know, with our age, we have progressed with the internet. Our learning curve happened as the internet and all of this stuff was created.
Yes.
You know, we have a deeper understanding because of all of those years that we've been working on this online platform. I mean, at my office, I was the best person for selling online directory listings because I was already studying SEO and blogging and everything else, whereas the other people were laughing at people who were bloggers.
Well, and I'm just going to go back to share the comment again from Jan, because I think her comment is like, flying. Yes, flying is what we're talking about here tonight. Flying with your digital media empire. And because you know so much and you've done so much, it really does make a difference because you can hear, listen, respond to where people are at and explain how to get them to where they can go. Your experience is invaluable now.
Yeah, I mean, when I learned a lot in my career, and then when I became a writer and started writing novels, I learned a lot about character development and telling stories from different points of view. So the advertising, I learned how to tell the stories in the second person. And writing novels, I learned about character development in first person and third person, and really beginning how to show a story, utilizing words instead of telling a story. And that is a very important thing. The difference between engagement and engaging and absolute boredom is whether or not you are showing the story or telling it. Because telling a story is a lecture, and we all fall asleep at a lecture.
Well, and that's part of the new brand media. You are the brand, which I coach, I teach. You've gotten sick of it because you partner with me on this now. But people are the brand. Your company is the brand. You are the brand, and learning to storytell is so important now because people don't buy just because you have a book, just because you have a course, just because you have this or that. They buy because they're captivated by how you do it, what you do it, who you are is just as important, and how you come across on camera and stage is just as important as what you're selling now, because they're not going to buy from you if you're just not up to par. They're not.
No. You know, back in the day, you could write a book, and the fact that you wrote a book was like, wow, you were instantly an expert.
Yes.
Now you write a book and everyone's like, well, yeah, so does everyone else. And really the books, because there's been so many books that don't have the quality, especially now in today's digital age, where we don't have those gatekeepers anymore. Right. We don't have those editors working with us. We don't have the marketing team. We don't have the publishers that help us and guide us when we write a book and publish it. A lot of people are like, well, it's just a brochure now.
Well, you could, but in this day and age, the do-it-yourself age, you don't need to. You're really wasting money by paying on and paying on up. There's so much you can do. And one of the ingenious you do with the virtual summits that we do, the symposiums, we bring experts together. We give them the stage. We give them the microphone. We make a three-ring circus fun party out of it. And then out of it, you create an asset book out of all the assets that we gain from all the speakers. So we're literally creating events, highlighting people, but the real product is the book.
Yes. And what it is okay, so when we're building our digital media empire, we have our blogs, we have our YouTube channels, we have our social media, we have the press releases that we've done. We've been quoted in the press, we've been on podcasts. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on,
Yes.
right? And it is spread out throughout the digital footprint. But what happens is your audience is going through and they're getting little sound bites of what it is you do. Now just imagine opening up a book, reading the first two pages, going through reading two pages in the middle, and then reading 2 pages at the end, and knowing what the story was about. That's what's happening with your digital footprint.
Yes.
So what we're doing with this book is we're bringing all these pieces of the digital footprint and creating the story so that they're not missing gaps. They're not missing information that's out there, and you're guiding them through that information in a way that makes sense for them based on the topic and answers that they're looking for. And that's the big thing about these summits that we do. They are topic sourced. It's about one topic, one question, and bringing the answers in.
Well, and the other thing it is, and I've heard it over and over again with the people I coach on media and speaking and everything else, is I have all this content, but what the heck do I do with it? Well, you've now created a digital book that your assets can go into. And the cool thing about the digital books, and I would love you to explain some of this without giving all your secrets away, but the fact is this is evergreen content. And evergreen, it's there forever. You can add, subtract, edit, and the book remains solid and slick and professional. So you're always creating content now. Why not upload, edit, and make it fresh and new?
Well, that's what I do, right? So the book here, this one that I've just published, which is mine, a book which is called Brand Apeel, Brand Storytelling in the Digital Age. The pages on there, it's got a core of evergreen content, core information in the book. But as events change, as information changes, or maybe I create a social media post that I want to put in the book, I can do all of that. And this book is actually a living, breathing thing. The book isn't even completely finished, and it is already out into the marketplace because 150 pages are up and done, but more is being added, and will always be added.
Right. So you don't have to have a completed book, but some people are like always fighting. How do I get to the end? How do I wrap this up? What do I do? You can have a living, breathing book, and it's kind of like the ongoing adventure. Come on back and see what's next. See what's next. And it's so powerful to do it.
Yeah. Well, and there's so many different ways to create what this is it's really your hub of information, which is your website. Your website is supposed to be your hub of information. But the thing is we're so busy trying to SEO our website, and websites are getting slick, and they got to be video here and this, and they got to be, I've been going through all these websites lately, and it's like, okay, what exactly is it that they do? For people to go to your website and go to your blog and figure out what is the information that they need, it's not fed to them. They have to go and pull that information.
Right.
So what the book does is it enables you to take all that, organize everything, give it to them, and then guide them through as each page flips and the story unravels. So they're not learning step 10 when they don't even know what step 1 is.
Right. Well, and the reason why the digital book is so important to your media empire is you do want to have what I call different channels. You want to become a public speaker. You do want to learn the media skills that we talk about every day here. You do want to have a book, because a book is another branch of authority. You want to have a blog. You want to have a podcast. You want different media channels, but then you need something to pull it all together. And often your digital books pulls from the blog, pulls from the podcast, pulls from the other, and you highlight the best of who you are while sharing your wisdom and your knowledge as a book that you actually read.
Well, the thing you have highlighted a piece that I missed, and that is that it is multimedia. right? The podcasts are embedded, the video's embedded, it's in the page. They just have to click play, and there it is. And there's different options. If you want to put it behind a paywall, it can be done.
Yes.
The way I do it is I have lots of the whole core of the book is free, but if you want to go deeper into that content and see the videos and get the downloadable workbooks and the pieces that are your more hand holding, well, then you buy a membership, and that gives you access to all that information.
So that's that lead magnet. It's a free lead magnet, and you get to a point where like you can't flip the pages anymore. It's like, well, I know there's more because it says click to get more. And the idea kind of is I'll give you more, but then that's where the deeper meat, the deeper content, you kind of tease it up in the first half. And now we've been doing that with emails, we've been doing that with videos. You're kind of putting it all together at one place in a digital book. And then even on the back side of the book, as you flip through, then you can direct them right to one of your training courses.
Exactly.
You can lead them right to one of your special events. And after that time's out, you go in and digitally change that page so it has fresh information all over again for the future.
Well, another thing you can do, it can be like anything. I've made them into directories for referral groups, so where each person in the referral group has a 2-page spread with all this information. Then they share it out to their people, and you can install. It becomes a navigational app on your phone or your tablet or your computer, so you can just click and find the information that you need really, really quickly. I've done magazines.
So that's why Jan's asking, are you multimedia? Are you just book? What the heck are you?
It is a multimedia interactive digital book. It is different, and it's hard for, it might be hard for you to get around your concept, but think of a digital magazine where it's the flip book technology and it's the digital magazine, but now instead of it just being kind of this PDF kind of thing, a video is in there, and you just click and play the video. Oh, now you've read some information on something. Oh, but here's a podcast you can listen to. Click, and now you can listen to the podcast. And it's all there on the page for you.
And it looks like physical pages. And when it flips, it curls, has folds. There's so many things to do with it. So it has that visual texture of a book. And I'm still one of those people, I still love to read my books. But this is a tool that is so powerful. And then you put it on your landing pages, you put it on your website, and people can buy the book, rent the book, download it into a PDF. So now you have something that they really can't get their hands on, but it lives in the cloud, in the net.
Yeah, I mean, my speaking kit is one of these books.
I was going to mention that, but you not only did a book, you found a new creative way to do a speaking kit. Can you explain what you did?
So it's kind of like a magazine where it's divided into 2 sections, where my professional development presentations and my personal development presentations. There's a video there of me talking in each one. There's the information about the presentations that I give. And then you flip it. If you want more information about that topic, I've gone and found articles that I've been quoted in, podcasts that I have been interviewed on, and embedded those assets into the book around that, whether it's personal branding or professional branding. So and then you can download the 1-pager, you can download the headshot, you can you can email me, you can book some time with me. Everything is there in the book itself.
And some of this is your own creativeness, because people don't have the idea what you're talking about when you first coach them. So you take where they're at and you begin to explain it, and then you work with them to help them to create it. This goes back to the original comment I made. We are not doing this alone anymore. So this idea of, and I've said for years, I'm not a writer. I get a book done now, Shannon. You know what? I can get a book done.
Well, you know what? One of the first books I published and helped produce was a concept.
Look at this. Look what that is right there.
So I came up with the concept because it was a CEO, an international CEO. He didn't have time to write a book, but he wanted to have another book. He had 6, he wanted another one, but he didn't have time to do it. So I figured out how I could help him do that, and basically take his podcasts, transcribe them, rewrote them, created questions, interviewed him, it transcribed that and then created worksheets around that in order to create a book that is on Amazon.com and in print and on Kindle. There's multiple ways that you can create a book and make it easier for you. The way that I do it, bringing in the video, bringing in the audio, it takes up space. So you don't have to write as much.
Well, and as you were talking, I was flipping through your glorious pages, and we got to the prompt of, no, not any further. So you gave like 6 pages of really good content.
Yeah.
And then you said, stop. Now that I got you hungry for it, you got to jump in.
It's free content. This is to access the free content, provide your name and email address. Now, and then every 2 weeks, I send them an email with a newsletter with more information that's not in the book, as well as reminder, hey, did you watch that video? Hey, did you know that this was in the book? Did you miss this? Did you download the workbook? Have you commented in the community? So these books themselves become funnels in that now I've collected the email address based on a topic that they're interested in. I can now drip on them with the newsletter, bring them into a community for connection, because one of the things with digital media, with your digital media empire, is you need ways to create community, because it's no longer about broadcasting. It is now about engaging in community and connecting. What this book does is you buy a book at the store and you don't get to talk to the author. The author doesn't know you bought it. But what this does is it connects the author to their readers.
So Jan's gonna have her head blown up if we don't do something to help Jan out.
I'm sorry, Jan. I really do too many things.
Because it really is an amazing way of gathering everyone together under one place, give them great content. And I do want to go back. This was back on the Market Apeel website. So she's done a book about life, on careers, on business. This is from one of our summits, from the Beyond Trauma Summit. And we've done the Achievement Summit. So this is one of the collections. She's literally creating these books. And part of her company is she will help you make your multimedia interactive digital book yourself.
Yes.
You don't have to be the genius to do this.
And if you are... Oh, look at Sandra Isaac. Thank you so much. Sandra Isaac helps me and with getting speaking gigs. So Sandra Isaac is a great person to know. And if you want to know who she is, make sure you contact me and I'll connect you. But basically what it is if you have a lot of blogs, you have a lot of content that's already out there, I can just help by organizing it and creating the book for you. Because it's already done. You just need somebody to go and create the story, to take that content and figure out what the story you're trying to tell is.
Now I'm going to backpedal, because again, building the media empire, as we said at the beginning, takes steps. It took you time to do what you're doing. This you are not doing today what you were doing before, partly because the technology was not there, partly because your interests have changed, and partly because now you've refined who you are as that media expert yourself. So for people to start one of these, you do pull from the summits, you do pull from other people. They contribute after the fact. They can update the book after the fact. But to start one of these books, to contact you and say, hey, Shannon, I want to up-level my media empire. I don't have a book in my media empire. What recommendations would you give them to say, let's just start with something simple, clean, but it's got some pop to it? Where would you recommend them starting to work with it to build something out?
Well, it all depends on their objective, right? So first off, I have to know what their objective is. I have to know what it is that they want from this book. If it's just to build out their email list, well, we can do something like the digital planning book, or we can just create a simple PDF downloadable e-newsletter or ebook, which I have white ebooks that you can buy and brand them to you.
She's already got the template. She's already got the templates built out. You buy the white label and you finish it out, right?
Yep. And the thing is, okay, so if you want a book because you want to be seen as an expert, because you want to get on that stage and all of that, and that is a big thing. If you want to be a speaker, you really need to have that book, and your speaking agents and will tell you need that book, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work just to figure out what the book is going to be about.
Yes.
So that's where I can come in and help you figure out, okay, what is the book about? What is it that you want to use it for? What do you need it for? Do you need a physical copy? Is a digital copy just good enough? I don't think you absolutely need to be on Amazon. In fact, Amazon does nothing for you except provide you with a payment thing. They don't do any marketing for you. Very few people buy a book that isn't from one of the big houses.
Yeah.
Just because Amazon said, hey, other people bought this as well.
So one of the philosophies is this is a lead magnet specific to your brand. Start with your email list, put it on your website, use it as a speaking tool. When you and I work with speakers, we tell them you can get a hold of the digital book from our conference, from your event, build one out yourself, and you use it as a way of saying, oh, and I have a book to go with my speaking topic, and you use the book as a way to elevate you above other people than they might be looking at. It's gold.
Exactly. What it is it gives you credibility as an expert, because if you can fill that many pages about a topic, you must know what you're talking about. Right? That's what it comes down to. They may not read the book, but they think, hey, you've filled the book with information. You must know what you're talking about.
So Jan's one of those people that's got the book already in her mind. She's already got it. She needs someone to help produce her. I think I know of somebody that knows how to produce these things.
And I've helped other people do it. It all depends on where you're at. I mean, some people just want to come in and figure out, okay, so how do I start? What am I going to write about? Other people come in and they've got a book, but they need someone to do the layout, the cover. Other people have come in and they have the book done. It's all ready to go, but they just need some help with getting it on Amazon because that's where they want to be.
Yeah.
Does it need to be on Amazon? It's completely up to you.
Well, again, if you have a podcast, if you have a streaming live show, if you do interviews, if you're a guest on podcasts, these are where the rounded out media empire comes in now, because they're going to say, hey, Shannon, where do you want us to lead them after our podcast interview? Hey, we're going to be streaming live today. Where would you want us to share something now? You have this digital book that you'll say, hey, let's give away some free books today. Exactly. Well, the podcast host and streaming host is going to go, yeah. And you're going to get more people with more eyeballs because you have the asset to support your media empire.
Well, there's so many different things that you can do with a book, and it does elevate you. It does open doors for you. But you don't need to write a full book for that to happen.
No.
If you write, there's books out there, they're anthologies where you write a chapter and you're in this anthology and you can say, hey, I'm a published author. I've written this chapter. Same thing can happen with the digital books.
That's what we're doing with the digital books. Basically, it's an anthology of experts. Mm-hmm. You and I are kind of the shell around it, but these different experts, and they all do get a link, put it on their websites, and they try to push it out because they are a part of the book.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to go back to the idea of your digital empire and the fact that it is spread out throughout the internet. And, somebody sees you on a podcast or they see the YouTube, or they just see something of you, and they're traveling along that information highway, driving really great, following everything, they understand what's going on. And then all of a sudden they got to hit their brakes before they do a Thelma and Louise into the Grand Canyon, because all of a sudden your digital footprint has a big gap and they don't know where to go. So it's very important that you map it out, that you understand how people go from one thing to the other, and that you're going to be leading them and guiding them, whether it's through a book or just the fact that you were saying, hey, the next place to go is here. The one thing about brand storytelling that's different than storytelling is that brand stories do not have an ending. They have a call to action.
So you've kind of done a good job taking it back to the idea of the media brand empire, because it is pieces everywhere. And as I've coached people on, you do want to have the social media, the books, you want the video, the audio. I mean, it takes time to build it, but you do want a lot of different doors. There are doors that come find you. And it's like CBS has all these different channels, but it's still CBS is the heart of it. You are still the heart of it with these different channels. The thing is, every one of these points back to you. The book is your way to point back to you. Your podcast points back to you. These are why you got to pick out which ones you want to launch first. You do have to have a strategy of the domino effect of which ones in your particular category are going to help you go ding, 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 and grow your media reach.
It's important to there's different ways of doing it, as we have talked about, in that you can have your own podcast, you can build your own audience, or you can go out and present to other people's audiences and hope that they come and follow. But you have to have some more for them to follow you. You have to have somewhere for them to go. And that's why the book is so important. But if you don't have a book, that's why a web page is so important. Or say, hey, see me at whichever social media platform you like. But pick one thing for them to go to. Don't give them a ton of options.
No.
Because what happens when you have a ton of options? Our brain goes, too many options, don't want to deal with this later. And it never happens.
One clear call to action. And I know people have link trees and everything else like that, but drive them one place and drive them to the same place over and over and over again. You may get sick of it, but you'll be driving people and they get more excited and more excited. By the way, we have something to drive people to. Did you know that?
Oh, I'm really looking forward to this too, because next week Rich is going to join me, and we're putting on an information session for people who want to use speaking as a marketing channel through Apeel. And one of the ways to do that is with the Appealing Summits. Now, I'm going to be talking about the Appealing Summits that are coming up in the fall and how people can get on that stage. But Rich here is going to be adding to that and helping those people that attend learn how to stand out online.
And the fun part of this is that when you learn to present better, you're getting ready for the symposiums that we co-host and run together. In the symposiums, you get featured in a book automatically. And then you get the chance to maybe sell those books, elevate your brand, do more in the books. There's layers of what's done here, but this is an intentional way that we can help you to start building your media empire one brick at a time. And come and join us. Hit that QR code. Come and join us. Absolutely free. You're going to get more content, more information. But you maybe start getting the idea that it's not beyond your reach. Because, Shannon, I know I've heard this. I think you've heard this. Sometimes people look at what we do and they go, that's way beyond me. I'm never going to be Trigger. I'm never going to be Shannon. I can't do it. And they can't.
I wasn't Shannon 5 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. It takes time to build. Overnight successes take 10 years to happen. When you all of a sudden start seeing someone everywhere, it's because they've built it for the last 5 to 10 years.
See, so now Jan's she's picked up on the whole thing now. Oh, this connects with the speaking and this. Yes, it all becomes interconnected as a media empire. Look at all the major networks. They all have a print company. They have a cartoon channel. They have an educational wing. They have all these different sub-channels of their main area. Mm-hmm. You do it one layer, one thing at a time, and we're sharing with you the idea of how the digital books can help give you that leg up. But the books intersect with your speaking, your podcast, and the other things. Mm-hmm. That's building a media empire.
It is very important when you build that media empire to map it out ahead of time, to understand exactly where you need to be and where your ideal customer hangs out. That's vitally important. So I do a lot of talking with people about who is your ideal customer, and it's not the demographics. I don't care what color their skin is. I don't care how old they are, how much money they make, and where they live. I want to know what's important to them, what motivates them, what do they value, what is the most important thing to them, which social media platform are they on the most, what are they talking about on that social media platform, which things are they engaging with. That's the stuff that you need to know in order to be able to then tell your story. Because brand storytelling is, you have personal brand storytelling, which is all about you. Use the pronoun I. It's your story. Broadcasting. What we're doing right now is broadcasting. This is a personal brand storytelling. We're broadcasting our information, and the audience is finding us based on whether or not we're interesting. The business brand storytelling, though, is different. Business brand storytelling, you go out and find your ideal audience, and then you tell their story to them and guide them through their story with the suggestion and choice of your solution. It's not easy, but that's when you do it right, that's when you get engagement. That's when you get that connection with people.
Shanon Peel, we are going to have this event coming up. Everyone make sure you hit the QR code, scan this, because we're just touching the very edges of how this can level for you. Like with your book, include a contact page. Shannon just mentioned all the way you want to learn about your customers, your clients, or where they're at. Include a questionnaire, and they read the book, they learn, and they immediately can digitally come back right at you again. There's an endless way to do this that we're just not used to thinking about, and that's part of Shannon's genius, and that's why Shannon's here with us tonight. Shannon, what's the best way to find you, get in touch with you, to follow up with you besides coming to this amazing event next week?
MarketApeel.com. Just go to MarketApeel.com, and on the front page, you're going to notice that there are 5 different apple peels, and that's 5 different brands that you can go into to find out more information about brand storytelling and how I can help you get in front of your ideal audience.
And before we let Shannon go, Jan's chimed in one more time. She thinks we're interesting.
Oh, that's great. Just love to know that I'm interesting, because that is, if we're not interesting, nobody's going to watch.
Right. That's exactly it. Shanon Peel from Market Apeel. Again, we do have the fall lineup coming up to do some symposiums, but start first with coming to that special event. We'll be there. And part of what we want to do is open up your eyes to the potential. Part of it is there's more that you can do now without spending a ton of money. And people think, to build the media empire, I need to get here and here and here. Start where you're at. Build with what you got, and you will scale and grow just like the both of us have had over the time.
The greatest thing about building a digital empire, building a digital story, is that every post, every blog article, every podcast is like a brick. It's like a yellow brick that you put in the road to build your yellow brick road to your door.
Shanon Peel, thanks for being with us here again tonight. We will see you next week. Hey, that's going to do it for How the Rock the Stage here tonight. Again, every week, 7 o'clock Eastern time, we go live with amazing guests, celebrities, writers, directors, authors, and much, much more. Why? Because we're here to help you shine on camera, shine on stage, to elevate you and your brand authority. We want you to learn how to leverage media better and better, because you are the brand and you have a voice and you have something important to say. Keep coming back, keep learning more and more. And of course, reach out anytime. Contact me, rich@richbontrager.net. That's always the easiest way to connect. rich@richbontrager.net. Or if you want to book a free consultation call, absolutely free, hit the QR code right there. Let's have a conversation about your dreams. Where are you at with your media empire? What would you like to do? Or what are the barriers keeping you from launching? Thanks for being here tonight. Again, it's always great to come back and talk and share. Come back next week, 7 p.m. Eastern time, as we go live for another edition of How the Rock the Stage.